Hey guys, Jason here with you, ahead of Slop Culture, Slop Culture, episode number 22. You can hear me mess up. I'm not even going to stop and redo this because I'm tired and it's time to go. As always, we ask you to rate and review the podcast, share it with friends, tell people about it. We want to build our little community here, and I know we don't push this too hard, but we're going to start doing a little bit more. You'll hear mention of some social media sharing happening for the Slop Culture podcast, more interactivity, because that's fun, and that's the way the modern world works. You got to put everything on Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat and everything else. You just have to. It's just the rules. That's how it works now. So yeah, rate and review the podcast, send us questions, concerns, all that stuff. Follow us on Twitter at Slop Culture Pod. Follow me on Instagram at DavisJSN. We may do a Slop Culture Instagram, but that's the best place for it now. As always, follow Jay Rodius and give him your love, because he needs it. He really does. Without further ado, here's Slop Culture episode number 22, Backseat Bay. Okay, there we go.
All good?
All good. I mean, I'm recording your voice in some form. Oh, look, you used the chat. There's a chat here. Anyway.
Yes, there is.
How you been?
Or when you're talking on incessantly and I need to get a word in edgewise.
Is that how this works? Is that the...
You know what's funny? Like, I always thought, like, in our years of doing stuff that I'm constantly, like, the overbearing one, the one that talks forever. And then, and watching... The thing we're using right now shows like basically levels as we talk and who talks when. Last time I remember watching him like, wow, he talks a lot more than I do.
Yeah, it's in the job description. I have a problem with it. I know that.
I really didn't think so though. I never noticed it until I watched it on this.
I think I'm better at not interrupting people. I used to be that guy. I used to be.
Oh, by the way, today I was reminded of like I'm sure after we did podcasts for our show for almost 5 years.
Yeah, something like that.
So, and I realized today I was listening to someone's podcast. It was like not a soccer one, it was just like a regular, like it was like a trivia one or something like that. And there's a pet peeve that I realize I have that is so like, it's just like nails on a chalkboard, but that's like someone just like isn't comfortable doing a podcast. And it's when someone doesn't know what to say, and then to another person, they just say absolutely.
Oh, okay, absolutely,
absolutely. Like you have a take on something, or a person like to fill why they think absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of that sort of obvious crutch stuff. I mean, look, radio's a little bit different than podcasting. The podcast I listen to, I kind of allow for that. You know what I don't like with the podcast? I don't like overproduced podcasts. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of sound in the background and
no, like there's. Do you know about Parcast? Have you heard of Parcast?
No.
Okay, Parcast is one of these.
Jack Parr? I mean, never mind.
Did you just make
an old comedian? I don't know why that came in my head. I don't know.
I was like, why are you referencing somebody nobody alive remembers?
That's with the original Tonight Show host, right?
Yeah, so Parcast.
I was thinking, who's the guy? Jimmy Pardo. That's who I was thinking. I don't know why.
No, Jimmy Pardo's got his own podcast. I don't listen to Jimmy Pardo. He's a little too schmaltzy for me. There's an extra level of stuff that Jimmy does. He's funny, but it's just too much in a podcast. Parcast is like they do produce stuff about serial killers and criminals and mysteries and conspiracy theories. My problem with them, and that's all stuff I'm interested in. I always my goal in life,
like the Art Bell stuff.
Yeah, well, I don't necessarily trend that weird, but I do like stuff that's history based. I like mystery stuff. I like that stuff. But my problem is that they are super produced. Like it's like a man and a woman. Welcome to the show. It's unexplained mysteries on Parcast, and then they'll go to like reenactment stuff, and I can't do that.
Oh,
I
there's like the
can't.
sound of a creaking door. It's like an old school like radio movie or radio story.
Yeah, something. It's like that with a mix where they did one on on Manson on what's his name? Why am I breaking on his name?
Charles Manson.
Charles Manson. Yeah, they did one on Charles Manson. And I was like, oh, this will be great. Charles Manson. I know some of the story, but I'm always interested in learning more or hearing about it. And it's just they're putting it on too thick. Like, Charles Manson was born in 1973 in blah, 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 1943 in West Virginia, whatever it was. And I was just like, nah,
born and raised on the playground. Oh.
We could do a podcast review episode. We could definitely do that. It would fall under slop culture.
I guess so. I don't listen to that many right now. I'm back. I just go through phases, man. I'm in audiobook central right now. I've done 3 in the last, I don't know, like month.
Okay. Which is the latest?
Last time I was listening to that one. I even forget what it was now, but it was done by Howard E. Taylor. It's his new book, and I told you he did that string of books before called the Bobaverse books. There's like 3 of them, and so I finished the one. I was like, you know what? I like this guy. I like the story. So now I'm doing those other 3. I'm just starting the 3rd book of it right now.
Okay. Yeah, I don't do audiobooks. I don't know why. It's never been a thing I've been interested in, but maybe I should give it a shot.
Time, man. It's like when I drive, it's just like I can get something done. It's like I feel like I'd never have time otherwise.
Well, I just listen to podcasts. I just listen to podcasts all the time. Just all the time podcast. I was going to look through my list. I kind of go through, I think we talked about this. I go through phases where I'll listen to something a lot, or I'll come in 2 years or 3 years late and I'll listen to the back catalog, and then I'll sort of drop it for a while. Like I just sort of got back to listening to Doug Loves Movies again after a couple of months where like, nah, that doesn't appeal.
I didn't listen for about 3-4 months probably, and I listened to 2 the other day because like Patton Oswalt was on. It was a really good cast. Like Patton Oswalt, Scott Aukerman, and I'm trying to remember who's the guy who always wore like bow ties and suits.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Fred or Frank? Oh
no. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. It's just not going to come to me.
It was a good lineup, so I was like, "Oh, I'll listen to that one," and I just listened to one. I don't know why. Right now I'm in I'm in an audiobook kick, and then I'll go through a music kick. I don't know. I just get sick of stuff, and I'll go through like 2 months phases, and I'll just repeat after that.
You're so refined with your tastes, Jay Rodius.
No, I think I'm just schizophrenic. I don't know. It's amazing. I've been with one woman for 10 years.
I think we're just all ADD. Like we're all super ADD, right?
You know, I was having that conversation with someone, not that conversation, but just in general, like about the way like society is changing. And I was talking about like stuff. I was talking about something with about how it's just like for a new generation, and our generation I think is included in this. We were kind of like in the cusp of the change of this, but how you just don't expect to do a career at one place and retire with a pension anymore.
No,
it doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't.
Like outside, unless you want to do a service industry like police, fire, teacher.
No, yeah, that doesn't exist.
And it's just like it's such a like. There's so little security in life now.
Yeah, I guess that's part of it. I mean, there are lots of reasons for that. You know, societal reasons. I don't think we should go into because we're not experts. But yeah, I feel you on that. I mean, my dad went into the Air Force, which even though he was changing jobs within the Air Force was always his, there was one job, one employer for 20 years. I can't even imagine trying to do something like that short of the military. And I wasn't interested, so I didn't do it.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't. I'm not built for it. A lot of my friends went to the Marine Corps or stuff like that, and it was perfect for that.
They would have broken you, man. They would have broken you.
Oh yeah, dude. There was no way.
Would you?
I think I could have done all the like PT and all that kind of stuff. It would be like, I just always thought of myself like, I can't imagine a guy that, first of all, I'm a huge egotist.
I'm massive.
So I can't imagine a guy sitting across from me that I know I'm smarter than. Like talk down to me.
You would have problems with authority. You would have. I would have done it too.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Then I get my ass kicked.
Yeah,
but I would have a hard. I think I'd be kind of like Joker in Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, I knew you were going to go there. Everybody goes there for the reference. I was going to say, are you going to be a pile or are you going to be a Joker?
Oh, I ain't no man's pile. Come on, son.
I don't know. I mean, you obviously
together.
You weren't as heavy as Vincent D'Onofrio when you were 18. I don't think, but that stuff can break you.
I recognize that dude now when I see him.
When's the last time you saw him? Because I don't know if I've seen him recently.
Yeah, he had that, what was it, Law and Order for a long time, right?
Yeah, he did that.
Or CSI, I don't know, one of those things.
He still pops up. He's obviously an excellent actor. He's one of those guys that made the transition from sort of bit level actor to he did some stuff that was not super high profile, right? He kind of
he had what, eighth billing in Men in Black.
Yeah, he was like a support guy or a character actor for a very long time, and then he parlayed that into his own sort of starring Law and Order. There are like levels to Law and Order, right? There's the base level Law and Order, 25 years, whatever it was, the main show, and then there was the spin-offs, and he basically got a spin-off of his own. He carried that show. Do you even remember? I remember what his partner looked like, but do you even remember her at all?
Dude, I've watched like 2 episodes of Law and Order ever.
Are you serious? How did you manage to avoid it?
Here's the problem, I'm sure the stories are good and stuff like that, but first of all, I don't like rip from the headline bullshit. Like, it seems such a crutch.
What, man? That's not.
It's a crutch for people that can't think of original stuff.
Damn, dog, that's inappropriate.
And secondly, I have issues with how formulaic it is.
Okay, but it's a procedural
stuff where I know what's going to come next, or like
right.
I don't know. Like when my wife watches, like I told you this back in the holiday time. Like she will digest Hallmark and Lifetime Christmas movies.
Okay, well that's formulaic, but those are still individual, independent, and supposedly original stories. I thought you meant procedurals. You have a problem with procedurals?
Well, partly because I think I can always guess like who it's going to be. I can figure out like where the story's going to go. I know this part's going to be about the mystery. This part's going to be about the courtroom. There's going to be a twist, and then it's all going to be wrapped up. It's just like, oh, okay. I was watching something else recently. My wife and I started watching this new show, and I like it. And it's called something about like No Tomorrow, I think is what it's called on Netflix. Mm-hmm. And it's actually good. I like it. It's an interesting. It's like kind of like a romantic comedy TV series. But very early on, it's like, okay, this is how this is going to go. It's just like this arc of every episode ends up being the kind of the same. It's just in a different way of telling the story, but she swings through these same emotional cycles every episode. I'm like, oh, come on, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't watch them like as a habit, and it was never like, oh, tonight's Law and Order, whatever, SVU,
but
Blue Red Bleed.
People will just like binge Law and Order, and that's not something you want to start binging because that thing will be like a year of your life.
Well, no, because it's a wholly contained storyline in one episode. You don't have to worry about you can binge it, but it's easy binging because you don't have to worry about what happened in that last episode. Oh, what's going to happen in the next one? I can't turn it off. It's literally just digestible pieces. There, SVU did some through lines. Like I think one of the characters got kidnapped or something. It was like, remember when CSI was huge? It was the same kind of deal. Every episode was like its own. There's a case. They figure it out. They get the guy. End of story. And then they would maybe sometimes have like a cliffhanger where a character got pulled into something dramatic and then they had to get him out. And that was it. It was digestible.
This is an interesting game. Okay, I have a game here because you're saying this right now. A game. It's very impromptu, no science to it.
Okay, all right. I'm here for games.
Because you're talking about like kind of like crossover and like spin-off kind of stuff. I'm going to give you 2 crossover / spin-offs and you tell me which one you prefer.
Okay, all right. So it's not a game so much as my opinion. Okay, it's either or. It's pick your.
It's
hold
totally
on.
opinion based.
Is this pick your poison? Because I will happily.
You know what? This is basically pick your poison.
Poison. I haven't done that in so long. Okay, go ahead.
All right, in honor of Mrs. Garrett, who passed away this week.
Oh yes, R.I.P. Mrs. Garrett. Didn't watch her shows.
Do you prefer the different strokes spinning into facts of life?
Oh, okay.
Or do you prefer the Cosby Show spinning into different worlds?
Okay, so I think this is.
You had to watch one.
This is an age
Which one would be the one you could watch and never watch the other one again? Which one's your favorite?
I'm a little too young for the facts of life situation. I'm 100% Cosby Show, a different world. That's my age range. That's my wheelhouse. I'm in the pocket right there.
Cosby Show to different world or Beverly Hills 90210 into Melrose Place.
See, I was never a spelling guy. I know you're a huge spelling guy. It was not my thing.
I know. Here's the thing. I was a 90210 guy. I was not a Melrose Place.
I watched more Melrose.
Andrew Shue because he was playing for the Galaxy.
I was more Melrose than I was 90210, but it was like very light touches. I like dipped in every now and then. So Man, I would go with a different world again. And we could play best spinoffs. We could absolutely do that.
So what if I make it? So if Cosby Show to Different World, or what did Family Matters spin off of?
Family Matters. Did that spin off of? Well,
Perfect Strangers? No,
maybe was Family Matters a spinoff? Are we sure about that?
I'm pretty sure it was a spin-off because the Winslow, the dad, I think was in a different show and they gave him his own. I thought it was a spinoff. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, no, you know what? Your first instinct was correct. It was indeed a spinoff from Perfect Strangers. So,
okay, so there's a tandem for you. That's right in
Yeah,
your wheelhouse,
man.
right there. You were at the age
Yeah.
for those shows.
well, I watched both of those shows a lot. So
you're gonna pick Cosby Show Different World, or you're gonna pick Perfect Strangers as Family Matters?
yeah, I'll pick Perfect Strangers Family Matters. Although I think probably A Different World was a better show than Family Matters in the end. I don't know. I mean,
The
toss
hard
up.
thing is Cosby Show's such a juggernaut.
Yeah, well, that's a shadow that casts for
I was just talking like today is like I was talking to someone and I was like, because I just got my kid watching like Brady Bunch. I got my kids watching Brady Bunch. They're into that. And I'm
Ew.
picking all these things like to introduce them to like, and I'm just like, I really want to show them Cosby Show, and I'm like, I won't do it though, and I hate the fact.
Man,
that
I think
even
you
have
could
to
do
second
it.
Guess it because
Look,
it's a fantastic family show to just have my kids watch.
I think you can. Look, it's contained within the
I let
show.
them listen to Michael Jackson all the time.
Right. Contained within the show, Cliff Huxtable is a fantastic character. He's a role model. He's a doctor. He's a hero.
Cliff Huxtable is
Cliff Huxtable is. Now, you may have to have that conversation when your kid's a little older about what Bill Cosby did.
Daddy, why did you have me watch a rapist?
Well, I don't know if you're going to get that question, but I mean, look, I'm kind of progressive or not progressive. I am that, but I'm also like, I'm proactive with some of these things when they come up with my kid or when there's even a hint of it, because I don't want to mess around. Like, I don't want him to be confused. I don't want him to get bad information. I want him to know what the deal is. And he's 10. Yours are a little younger, so maybe you have to wait a little while.
Yeah, I got to pick a couple more to get him into, but I'm blanking on any other like good spin-offs right now. But so we've established though that the TGIF spin-off is big for you then.
Yeah, TGIF was a major. Come on, that was like central.
Was Step by Step a spin-off or something too?
I don't know. I don't remember. Are there any current spin-offs on the air? Like, I don't know if there's any current shows that are spin-offs.
What would be a spin-off currently? Well, I mean, one of the last ones that I remember that was really put behind, and this is years ago now, but Friends into Joey.
Okay, which was a terrible show that nobody watched.
Good one actually.
Uh-huh.
Cheers into Frasier.
Yes, that may be the gold standard because of how good Frasier was for a long time.
Those were two of the best shows ever on television, and you would think. I remember thinking at the time, I was like, really, why? And then Frasier comes out, and they're thinking about doing it again now.
You know what's funny? Since you mentioned him, I'll bring this up. The girl and I were sitting around like we usually do, dinner and watch something on Netflix. Right? It's just the two of us.
Yeah.
I'm meeting her halfway half the time. I don't make a big deal out of it. If I want to watch something, I'll find time on my own because I'm home during the day and stuff. And there's nothing that's super pressing. So she had just finished some Spanish language show. She watches these shows that they make in Spain that are very dramatic, and they're usually set in like some past decade, and everything's very stylish.
Does she at all translate that into she wants your relationship to be dramatic?
No, it's not like that at all. No, she's the opposite of that. She will tell you she does not do drama at all. So
okay,
it's not like that. It's just I don't know. It's the style thing. It's like, oh, it's the 50s, and we all dress like this, and we make dresses and stuff. So she had just finished one. We didn't have anything to watch. I wasn't currently interested in any. There wasn't anything jumping at me. We've tried some things that haven't caught on. So I was like, okay, let's watch a movie. I'm like, okay, what's on Netflix? Oh, a Netflix original movie. What's it called? Oh, it's called Like Father. She's like, yeah, I saw the trailer for this because they push it.
Oh, that's the one that's produced by Seth Rogen's wife.
So this is he's actually in the movie. Kristen Bell is the lead,
and that's my wife's favorite girl, by the way.
So Kristen Bell and Fraser Crane, Kelsey Grammer. He plays her dad. Okay, You're not going to watch this movie, right?
I think I might actually.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, I don't want to spoil it for you.
No, you can tell me what you thought of it.
Okay. It is.
Or do you have to tell me something like to get the point across?
No. I'll just tell you that he's in it, and what I noticed about him, and this is so funny. It has nothing to do with anything we've talked about so far. You just mentioned Frasier, and it came to mind. First of all, the guy doesn't look like he's aged in 30 years, which means he's looked old for 30 years. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what? He was receding. His hair was receding in the 80s.
Early,
he had to have been only like maybe in his 30s.
Yeah, and he hasn't, or he's done a good job preserving, or he hasn't lost any more. Because it looks like he's got this
a lot of alcohol in the system. It's a good person to preserve.
I know that, but it looks like he's got the same exact hair he did on Cheers on Frasier in the early years. And I'm like, how does that happen? He's like 65
to keep that haircut.
Maybe, I don't know. Like if you have that, I mean, I don't know if he's got money, but if you have that money, I guess you do that. I guess you take that step.
By the way, because it made me think
can't let go of that hair. Come on, man. You can't let go of that. People that have hair issues, and thank God that both of you and I have luxurious heads of hair.
What I have left is luxurious. I've had the receding hairline since I was in my 20s, but it's stayed at the same place since then.
So you just have the big forehead effect, is what you're saying.
Why you got to say it like that?
Because I'm not too far behind you.
Complex.
Mine hasn't gone anywhere. It's just always been high. So
yeah.
Anyway,
me too.
So Kelsey Grammer's in this movie. He plays Kristen Bell's dad, a long lost dad. What I noticed about this, and this is not a spoiler, is he has massive feet, and he has a what is it? What's the one splayed toe? Whatever it is when you walk with your feet out, your toes out.
Oh, pigeon toed?
Yeah, pigeon toe. No, yeah, pigeon toed. I thought pigeon toe was the other way. Pigeon toe's the other way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, pigeon toe's in, I think.
Is it penguin toed?
I don't know. But whatever it is where you walk with your feet out, he has massive feet and he walks like them with them
sure
way
Michael
out.
Ciani on the Galaxy has that.
And I'm thinking the first thing that came to my mind was Sideshow Bob. I was like, was he the voice of Sideshow Bob because he had the feet and walked like Sideshow Bob in real life? That's what I thought.
Yeah, I never thought about that in the physical characteristics of it, but yeah, he was the voice of Sideshow Bob.
The only other thing I'll tell you about that movie is that it's a giant commercial for Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines. I'm guessing they threw some cash.
Get it?
Yeah.
I mean, someone's got to pay the bills, right?
Exactly. I've taken that.
Wait, actually, isn't Kristen Bell like one of the spokespeople for Royal Caribbean too?
Maybe that's what. It's all connected, man.
Well, she's on everything. By the way, so Kristen Bell, okay?
Yeah.
This legitimately is my wife's like one. Like if she was to pick one,
okay,
this would be the
so
one for her.
We're going beyond like hang out, have girls' night, talk.
There's that because like my wife would love nothing more than play board games with her and Dax Shepard. But I think like she might lay down.
Oh, well, so okay, hold on a second. I don't even know what I'm supposed to say.
If your girl had to pick a one, if your girl had to pick a one, do you have a one in mind that would be her one?
I think her one. There may be a couple others, but I think her one might be Shakira. I think.
Ooh.
Yeah. There's like a history of, she's been a fan of Shakira for a very long time, but she's one of those people. She'll tell you Shakira was better before she started singing in English. And I'm like, okay,
tell me she's in the room right now giving you the evil eye.
No, she fell asleep a long time ago. I'm just sitting here by myself. So no, it's a good question. I can ask you the guy. I mean, why not? Why not be equal opportunity?
I got a list. You know that.
I know you got a list. You got a man crush list, right?
Well, who's my man lately? You know who? Let's see. Who is my man lately? Oh, you know what? That dude in that show I was telling you about, that No Tomorrow, he's pretty handsome.
Okay, I don't know who that is.
Over the course of the show, his hair grows and he starts looking like Jude Law, and then it's like, I don't know. Well, my go-to is always Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, yeah, that's easy. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
It is easy. I'm not gonna lie, it's easy, and that's a definite go-to for me.
Yeah,
I'd really have to consider some things if that ever opportunity came up. I'd really question some things. And listen, I know this is cliche too. I like the other Ryan too. What's that dude's name?
Ryan Gosling. Okay.
Maybe I'm just like, I just
yeah.
like Ryan,
you want your boys, you want your bros to be approachable, to be funny. You want a funny side to them, right?
Humor's big to me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I ain't trying to get Jim Carrey or something. Oh, dude, did you see my tweet the other day about what happened to me?
No.
I got told I look like someone.
I'm not sure I still. Oh yes, I did. I did see that, but I don't recall the details.
Here's the messed up swing of things. I had someone text me a picture that was a very, good looking picture of Jason Statham with hair and some stubble, and someone told me that that's what I look like, and my wife even agreed. I got that.
Hold on.
Life, right?
Slow down.
I am high on life. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm walking taller, you know. And
it's like a big old, it's like a big old plate of, I don't even know, bacon for an egotist like you.
I come walking into Chipotle, right? Thinking like, oh, I got my Statham stroll on. I'm walking into Chipotle. I get up to the front, and the lady, before even taking my order, she goes, "Oh my God, you know who you look like? Dave Coulier." I'm like you could have seen me deflate.
Damn, dog.
In a ropes.
Like, what I gotta be the cut it out guy?
Yeah, I did see that because I saw you emoji that.
So instantly, my narcissism starts trying to find a way to turn this and spin this into a good thing for me, right? So I'm thinking, at least he bagged Alanis Morissette. I mean, it was probably a sex crime at the time.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say it was that was not a dynamic that was based on Dave Coulier being suave and saying that Dave cultured Coulier was able and handsome
to hook up with a attractive Alanis Morissette. That's all I'm saying. Like, he wasn't ugly enough that it didn't happen.
It's funny how things like
full circle.
Yeah,
Alanis Morissette then married Ryan Reynolds.
Did she?
Yeah, they were married.
I did no idea. How did I not know that?
That was a Canadian super couple, dude.
Wow, yeah, and I just listened to a podcast today.
Scarlett Johansson too for a while.
I just listened to a podcast today where people were drafting Canadians, and Ryan Reynolds did not get selected, but Alanis Morissette did. So,
man, if I was selecting Canadians,
if you were going to rank some Canadians,
heavy on the comedy, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they did too, and I would expect that. I don't want to bite their concept because it's a good podcast. People should just listen to it, but. Yeah, I mean, Mike Myers.
Mike Myers comes up. Dan Aykroyd.
Martin Short.
Yeah. I mean, Martin Short legitimately is maybe the funniest man that no one gives credit for. Like, people don't list him a lot of the times.
He deserves to be in that list. Yeah. 100%.
Because I don't think he makes a lot of good media. I don't think he's made some bad choices, like movies and stuff like that. But legitimately, one of the funniest human beings when he talks.
Yeah, no, he's great, and the characters and everything. I mean just
outside of Inner Space, of course.
Just goes all out. What's the word I'm looking for? Like commits. He commits, right? You need people that completely commit.
Oh, by the way, did you watch the Martin Short and Steve Martin thing on Netflix?
No, I need to find that.
Their live show concert is on there.
Okay. Is it so Steve Martin plays the banjo and then Martin Short makes jokes? I don't know what happens.
Well, they do a lot of stuff as a twosome, and then they each have a portion of the show where they do their own thing, then they come back together and they do their own thing. They go it's a little bit of everything.
Okay. You know what I did watch last night? Since we're talking about comedy, do you know Eliza Schlesinger?
My wife was watching it. I didn't see it myself.
Okay. I watched it. It's okay. It's pretty funny. You know, it's I question some choices.
Well, you know which one on Netflix right now is like a sleeper and a fantastic watch?
What?
It's that New Zealand chick.
I heard about that one. That's what I thought I was getting into when we selected this one last night. I thought I was getting into the Kiwi or whatever she is, because I'd heard about that one.
Make the time to watch that one, dude. And I'm sorry, I wish I could put the name out there because if people need to know who it is, and watch it. But
I'll find it.
It almost feels. Not almost. It does feel like important when you watch it.
Yeah, right. So that's
And it's funny because like the first part of it's comedy, then it just kind of gently goes into another thing, and it's just more like a one-woman show for the back end of it, and it is. And also, I'm an art history nerd, so like she was art history like major and art historian. So a big portion of her show is through talking about like, artists and stuff like that.
So she's Australian. I think this is her, Hannah Gadsby, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the one. I need to go watch it. And like I said, I thought that's what I was getting into, and then I'm watching this Eliza Schlesinger or whatever, and I'm like. Okay.
All women comedians are the same thing to you. I get it.
No. I just kind of forgot, I just forgot the name. So just when I like Netflix delivers you stuff and you're like, okay, let me click on that. And then you watch, whatever you stick with. Have you ever bailed on something on Netflix?
Or do you constantly?
Do you really? I don't know if I've ever actually bailed on anything. If I've like stopped it halfway through. That's
like, is this a metaphor for relationships for you too or something like that? Like, get out.
No, I'm not treating it like that. Okay,
you gotta stand up for yourself, man. Don't let Netflix do that to you.
I'll bail on a series, but I don't know if I'll bail on an episode. I will say this: I'm not making a lot of hard choice. Like I'm not choosing a lot of things. I'm like, oh, that's something I'm really interested in. Usually I'm kind of going along for a ride. And if I'm going along for a ride, the other person's driving. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, there's an HBO one right now. It's good. Have you seen the documentary on Andre the Giant?
No, but I want to.
That's a good one, man. I don't think you have HBO, right? But if you can find someone to give some way to get it, that's a really fun one to watch.
Have we ever really talked about pro wrestling and our experiences being fans of that or not? Were you a
fans? Like you've talked for yourself, dude. Like I was. Well, I guess okay. There was a short time in the late '80s where I watched like the WWF cartoon on Saturdays.
Okay. So you didn't watch the actual wrestling; you just watched the cartoon.
No, I mean, I've probably seen a SummerSlam or something back in the day when Hulk Hogan was at his height and Andre the Giant and Iron Sheik were all there. That was in Junkyard Dog. That's what. And I remember Jimmy Fufu Superfly Snuka, but these were all the characters in that TV show as well, the cartoon.
Yeah, so I had two distinct eras where I was a wrestling fan, so to speak. One of them was that same era, the 80s with the cartoons, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Junkyard Dog, Coco Beware, people like, I mean, I was watching Ravishing Rick Rude. You probably weren't because I don't think he was a character in a cartoon. But Andre the Giant. Rick Rude. Okay, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, which everybody loved. He was a phenomenon.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan, of course. Ted DiBiase, the Million Dollar Man. The Hart Brothers, the Hart Foundation. Mean Gene
Okerlund, Gorilla Monsoon, all of those guys. That was my introduction. And I had a friend, and we would watch it. It was like Sunday mornings they ran it before or after church. I can't remember. I was going to church at the time with my family, and then I had another period later on when I was like in my early 20s. Where it was the the Attitude Era. So it was like Degeneration X and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Rock was just coming up. And it was brief. It was like a 2-year period, and then basically I've kind of been out since then.
Yeah, I was thinking just the other day. So, and this equates to wrestling, I promise. So, my kids don't watch wrestling, but they basically might as well be because my kids are constantly watching this stuff on YouTube where it's families going to find treasures and stuff like that. Like, oh my God, we found this treasure from long ago. It's all written reality.
Oh,
and it's obviously staged to an adult. But my kids are like enthralled by all these mysteries and things like that these families go on, and it makes then they expect us to do it. They're like why are we not finding treasure in our family? This is what families do. Look, it's on YouTube. Like, I got no treasure maps, kid.
Oh man, that sounds. I say this because I'm co-parenting. Remember, this is a fractured parental situation. We have decided mostly to pull him off of YouTube because it's a black hole that will suck him in. He'll end up in bad places. I hear too many horror stories about, there's a video that gets suggested, and next thing you know, they're seeing some really not even like inappropriate stuff. I'm not talking sexual or violence, just stuff that will change like fake news kind of stuff, right? Like conspiracy theory stuff. Like he used to come to me occasionally and say, Daddy, do you know that the president has a secret bunker and everybody's going to die in 2018? You're like, what? No, what are you talking about?
Sounds almost right, Jason.
Yeah, probably that is going to happen. Actually, that's true. The president does have a bunker and we probably are all going to die before the end of the year. So sorry about that.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
But we pulled him off, and I think it's better because I was listening to a podcast or something, and they were highlighting this girl, and she had like her thing was she had pets, like crazy amounts of pets, and like crazy ones, like snakes and lizards and bugs and all kinds of stuff. And she started a YouTube channel, and she ended up with like 5 million subscribers, and they have these meetups, like these conventions where all these YouTube stars show up and these kids are like treating them like they're celebrities. I'm like, this is weird. I don't get it. I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah, I during this summer, I let them go pretty crazy with it. I'm not going to lie. But now that they're back in school, started this week, they get an hour a day where they can do that kind of stuff or something like that. And they're always in communal areas like the TV in the living room, or there's a computer in what we call the kid cave, which is right next to the kitchen. And so they're always out in those areas. But just the other day, like my kid was watching something on YouTube, and I come in the room and he's in the comments section writing something. I'm like, whoa! Like I was like, holy crap! Like I let this go too far at this point. Like
yeah.
I told him like, listen, dude, you can't go to the comment sections. I know this is just you want to like talk about how much you like the video or something like that, but your heart is too pure for this area.
Your heart is too pure. They say bad words in the comments.
Dude, I mean, I don't even want. God, there's so much I need to protect them from in the world. There's
I
too
know.
much of it. I can't do it.
I'm kind of There are things I'm willing to let go on, and some things I'm not. And the internet is
Me
one
too.
thing.
Like, I would be okay with my kid walking to school next year.
Yes.
He'll be in 4th grade.
Exactly.
When I talk to my friends, they all feel like I'm crazy. I was walking to school in 2nd or 3rd grade.
Yeah, I
Same
was
route.
too.
I'm like half a block further from school than I was. My kid is than when I was from the same school.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a weird thing that we've changed our attitudes about completely. And I know what you're talking about. So I don't know. I mean, you got to give them some freedom at some point. Otherwise, not going to take personal responsibility. And then they're going to be dependent on everybody else, and they're never going to take care of themselves. And you got to do it. You got to do it. I don't know. All right. So I had a question. I put out for questions. It was a last minute thing, but I figured I'd check. Here's a good one. I don't think have we ever talked about this? The Nintendo versus Sega situation. Have we gone through that?
Man, I don't know that we have. I know we've talked about individual things on those two systems, but I don't think it's ever been like a pick your poison kind of thing.
No. Can I do it again? I want to do it again. Can I do it again?
Poison me.
Okay, go ahead.
Man, that makes it even harder. I didn't want to do it this way. I didn't want to have to pick one or the other. But
No, you don't have to. I just wanted to play the sounder.
it's okay. It's okay.
You can do air horns instead if you want.
This is hard because the Sega Genesis hit me at a time where I was peak youth video game. Like I was probably 13 or so when I would have had a Sega Genesis, whereas my Nintendo, I was probably 10, 11, somewhere in that range.
Okay, here's what I always thought of the dynamic as, and you can tell me if I'm wrong here. This is just the way I felt about it at the time, and I think that my brain still processes it this way. Even though I never had a Sega Genesis was always cooler. Nintendo was not bad. Nintendo had good games, but Genesis was edgier, right? For sure.
Exactly.
I think you couldn't
that's what I'm thinking. Like they had like edgier games, like
Mortal Kombat.
like the NHL hockey, the NHL 95 or something like that. Whatever that was.
Yeah,
I can't remember what
that was always
were.
excellent. Yeah.
It's the one they're playing in Swingers, where you can fight and like the guy's legs move and he bleeds on the ice. Like you would never find a game where someone's bleeding on the ice in Nintendo.
Right, exactly. You got. Well, I was gonna say Super Nintendo. I don't even remember it. Eventually, those EA games did come out on Super
Blades of
Nintendo.
Steel.
Yeah, we had that. There was fighting, but no blood.
There was
Blades
a
of
fight,
Steel.
but there's no blood.
Yeah.
And like I don't think I mean Sega Genesis had Street Fighter. I think maybe the first Mortal Kombats were on that as well.
Yeah, well,
right?
that's what I said. I don't think that Mortal Kombat was on Nintendo, but it was on Genesis. So we would. I mean, I had a Nintendo. My parents wouldn't get us a Genesis, so we already had a Super Nintendo. So I would go to a friend's house and stay overnight and drink Jolt Cola and play Mortal Kombat until our fingers bled. Basically,
Yeah, there was another fighting game where you would it was something Beasts or something like that. What was that called?
I don't know if I know that one.
Something Beast.
There was Altered Beast, but Altered Beast was.
Beast. That's what I was thinking.
But that wasn't a fighting game. That was a side scroller, I think.
Oh, was it side scroller?
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was just a side scroller.
Altered Beast. What I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, that was in the arcade. I remember playing Altered Beast in the arcade, and it was basically like you became a werewolf or something, or like it was.
Well, do you remember what your gateway into Sega was? Because I think for most people it was Sonic, right?
Yeah, I don't remember playing a ton of Sonic because again, I didn't have one.
Wasn't that the launch? Like Super Mario was the launch for Nintendo.
Yeah, that was their
Sonic was the launch for Genesis.
Their anchor character was Sonic. My kid loves Sonic. My kid loves all that old stuff. It's so weird. But yeah.
Oh yeah. Did I tell you I got a PS2 for my kids?
No, PS2.
Well, technically, I got it for myself because there was a game I wanted to play, and then they're like, I went to the used game store and they're like, Dad, can we get some stuff? So both of my kids have been really into lately playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Oh, I would love to play some of that. Hell yes, I would play that in a second.
I got the original one, and I was like, oh, it's good still, but I remember like the ones after it were better. So I went to the game store. I was gonna get Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 because I remember really liking the soundtrack to that one, but they didn't have it, so I got 3. And it's like I got so into playing it with my kids. It ended up being about Dad.
Of course it
but
did.
They're into it. But I dig that they know some of that music now too. So like there's like punk music and stuff like that. So it's kind of like their introduction to that too. But I'm having to explain to them like who these some of these skaters are.
Yeah, sorry. messing around with some sounds here. I'm trying to just see if I can find some Tony Hawk stuff.
It's crazy trying to remember like where all the secret stuff is, and then you get such a roll of adrenaline when you remember.
That was super loud. Go ahead. Oh, sound effects. Can you hear that?
Yeah. Is that the opening?
Okay, we're just rolling through all the sound effects.
Scram, kid, beat it, you little nuisance. I'll open.
Sorry, that was just weird.
But those games were so good. So then I started going down a rabbit hole on YouTube, right? Like I watched like a 20-minute YouTube video about like the decline of the skateboard game genre.
Oh yeah,
and like why it happened and how it happened and how they Neversoft sold the rights to somewhere else and they just did a completely different thing and killed it. It was a fascinating deep dive that I did out of this.
I never thought about that. I mean, obviously Tony Hawk was massive for a while, and then it just sort of disappeared, right? Like I don't even know what happened there.
Yeah, I watched like a talk show appearance that Tony Hawk did recently on like a podcast where he talked about it, and he talked about like them handing him a check at one point for like on Tony Hawk 2.
Yeah,
and like they handed him a check for like a portion of what after it came out for like $4 million.
Can you imagine?
You think about this guy didn't code a thing.
Nah, he didn't do anything. His name's on it. Which I mean, hey, probably doesn't sell.
He put some balls on. That didn't sound right. He put some like a suit on and did like the motion capture and stuff like that. But God dang.
Yeah, look, so it's a good question, kind of spinning off of Tony Hawk having that franchise and being that guy, right? So you're more a skate guy than I am, and you've mentioned some stuff on this show. I'm not a skate guy at all. I didn't skate. I don't know another skater beyond Tony Hawk, and I think I'm probably, I'm the norm, right? Most people only know who Tony Hawk is. Is there any?
You're to skateboarding how the rest of America is to soccer.
Probably. I mean, close to that, sure, but I don't know. Do you think the average sports fan knows more than one soccer player? Because I'm not sure the average sports fan knows more than one pro skater.
By average sports fan, what age is that?
That's a good question.
Anyone 32 and under can name multiple.
Okay, that's probably true.
Anyone 40 and over may struggle to do more.
What are you trying to just put me into my old man demographic? Is that what you're trying to do?
I mean, ESPN's data shows this. Amongst the next generation, soccer is number 2 sport behind the NFL.
Right. Yeah. No, in terms
of what they view.
Yeah, I know. I'm hoping I get my $4 million for a video game. I don't think I'm not a player, so I don't think it's gonna happen. But
Davis Soccer.
There you go, Jason Davis Soccer. What kind of sound effects would it have?
Get out of here, you kids! With the commentary of Jason Davis over the top.
That was a wicked strike to the upper 90. I don't know.
You'd have to have some kind of catchphrases. Oh God, a Jason Davis catchphrase. Here's the thing. What I would love about a Jason Davis catchphrase is I know that you would spend 3 weeks testing a million terrible ones in the mirror.
I don't know. Maybe, but I also think this.
You would obsess over it, Jason.
I think, and I respect guys who call soccer matches, right? I respect them. And baseball games are kind of in the same area, but it's slower. Guys who call soccer matches, I respect them, but I cringe. It's hard for me not to cringe when I hear a goal, like somebody who has a goal call, like that's their goal call, right? And I happened to last week, I got my chance to meet Max Bretos for the first time in person, and I love Max. And I think
I kind of like Max's. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, but and he told the story of where it came from. Yes, that was pretty good, Max. That did a pretty good Max.
Well, you see, here's the thing. You and I have a different connection to Max Bretos because he and Alan Hopkins were the Galaxy play-by-play guys back in the day.
Yeah. Now he's sold out, by the way. Completely turned his back on the Galaxy and his history with that team, and now he's an LAFC dude.
But trust me, when he was LAFC's announcer that didn't go over well.
With the Galaxy faithful? You guys,
yes, that did not go over well.
No. Max is a fun guy. Max is a fun guy. Good to meet him.
It's funny that you're talking about baseball. Baseball, I think one of the things that's baseball announcing what's tough about is that there's so much filler you have to do. There's so much.
That's true. Yeah, that's what I meant by slower. You just have to fill time, but you still have a home run call, which is similar to a goal call in soccer. There's no other sport. Yeah, like put it on the board. Or
but you know what? It's funny. Chick Hearn was able to do it with basketball, though.
Yeah, but did he have a goal? Well, he might have had like special moment calls, but it was probably
But,
very
he had
rare.
all sorts of things like put him in the popcorn machine.
Yeah, I guess that's true. He had his
Like,
catchphrases.
the mustard's off the hot dog.
Yeah, I suppose that. Did Vin do that? Vin didn't really have catchphrases,
Vin
did
didn't
he?
really have, as far as I can remember, like Vin's thing was "Welcome to Dodger Baseball" or whatever it was. He would say,
Welcome to
like, there
Dodger
was, like,
Baseball. It's a lovely night here at the Chevette. I can't do Vin
His
Scully.
thing was his cadence.
Yeah. He did have a fantastic cadence. Yeah, he's the gold standard. Everybody loves Vin Scully. If you don't love Vin Scully, turn this podcast up right now and jump off a cliff. Okay.
How can you be like? Is there a baseball fan in America that doesn't like Vin Scully?
No, I don't think
see
so.
How you could not like?
I don't
He's.
think so.
I'm trying to equate. Like he's almost like.
Oh, I want to do a
I
more.
mean, what's something that's universally liked?
Yeah, I was
anymore?
gonna say I want to do a more beloved poll. Is there anybody? Could you? I don't know, Johnny Carson. Let's see. You know what? It would have been Bill Cosby 3 years ago.
I got one.
It would have been Bill
got
Cosby
one.
3 years ago. Yeah.
Tom Hanks.
That is a very good. Ooh, I like this. We're gonna put a poll up somewhere.
Vin Scully versus Tom Hanks. Do we have a third?
Oh, Vin Scully, Tom Hanks. Oh man, this is okay. I'm gonna think about this one for
Man,
a second.
who else is just like loved?
Bob Dylan, maybe.
No, I don't think so, man.
People don't love him that. Okay.
I don't know if music can be that thing.
Yeah,
because
maybe.
music has become so
Well, you either
fragmented, but everything's fragmented now.
if it's music, it's got to be somebody who's been around for a very long time, long enough that anybody who
Like
had.
Paul McCartney,
I was gonna say Tony Bennett actually.
Tony Bennett. Yeah, I don't know. You never hear say anything bad about Tony Bennett, but I think there's a huge amount of population who doesn't know who he is.
Probably that's true. Although I was talking to my girl about this that they trotted him back out because I was introducing her to standards. I was introducing her to Frank and some of this stuff.
yeah.
And we were playing it on Spotify, and I was like, "Oh, do you know about Tony Bennett?" And she's like, "No, who's Tony Bennett?" And I said, "Well, he was the guy who he sang like Frank. He was a crooner in like the 40s and 50s, but then he worked. Don't get me wrong, he worked, but then they
He
kind
worked
of
his butt off.
he just suddenly showed back up again in like mainstream pop. Remember when like he was on the MTV Music Awards every year for a while? It was like,
Yeah.
where did Tony Bennett come from? And now everybody wants to sing with Tony Bennett. Yeah. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting.
By the way, while we're on singers and standards, it's not necessarily singer standards, but in that vein, if I haven't told you already, go check out the new album by a guy named Nick Waterhouse.
Okay.
It is fantastic, Jason. Like it's right in the wheelhouse of what I think what you'd like in that area. So and it's modern, so your girl might like it too because it's a modern take on it, but it's extremely good. But
Okay.
dang it, I'm
so
struggling to think of a third. There's no politician that's
hold
like
on.
that.
Isn't that what Bublé kind of is? Modern take on the crooner thing?
No, okay, maybe, but this is less of a crooner and more of a singer standard. Kind of thing.
Okay. Are you
Yeah. Trust me. Just trust
Well,
me.
it's-
Write the name down, Nick Waterhouse.
It's-
Listen to it after we get off, and you're gonna
Nick-
really, really enjoy it.
Nick Waterhouse. Okay. All right. Because
Anyway,
I can't. I can do Frank and I can do Tony Bennett back then. I mean, now I can do Tony Bennett all the time. I can do.
You know who should be on our list of people that everyone likes, but it's fragmented for stupid reasons? Michelle Obama should be on that list.
Okay, well, you're involving politics there, so that's never.
I
gonna
know,
happen.
and you're never gonna find a politician that's liked by people ever again.
Okay, so I'm gonna call this. I'm gonna say
JFK on that list.
no, nah. I mean, maybe, but he's dead. I don't think that counts. I think you got to be
Yeah, that's
alive.
Man, it's pretty much just Tom Hanks versus Vince Scully.
No, there's somebody we're missing. I'm gonna put right in. I'll just put other and let people pick.
Is there a television person? God, it would have been. You're right. It would have been Cosby back in the day.
Yeah, it would have been Cosby before all this nonsense happened. Before he turned into he was always a predator then.
What
but
about? Doesn't everybody like Ed O'Neill?
I don't think enough people. I don't think people have strong enough feelings about Ed O'Neill to say, "Oh, I like Ed O'Neill." Yeah, he's inoffensive and he's a good actor, and I think people like him most of the time if they see him. Like, "Oh, yeah, I like that guy."
Yeah, he's not big enough.
They're not. Yeah, we're talking about massive pop culture
Talking
appeal.
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, Mount Rushmore.
culture.
Yeah, Mount Rushmore of likability. The Mount Rushmore, like, man, damn, this is gonna kill me.
Man, someone is screaming into their like
Alan
their
Cummings?
podcast machine right
No,
now. Who?
Alan Cummings. No.
You got to be kidding me.
Okay, I don't know. Just throwing some
Smack
stuff
your
out there.
mouth.
What you don't think he's
he does not belong in the pantheon of Tom Hanks. And
all right?
that
All
thing I
right.
said
He
Ed
probably
O'Neill,
you did say it. You're killing me for Alan Cummings.
Yeah,
And-
yeah.
and-
I'm
and-
totally a jerk about that.
And who's who's more the,
I
the
got one.
musical theater?
But he's not
thing?
alive. But Jason, I have one.
No.
Robin Williams.
No, yes, but he's not. Well, okay. That actually does count. I'll put Robin Williams on here, and then I'll put other. So we have 4 spots. I'll put Robin Williams. I mean, I think some people might have changed their attitude about Robin Williams because of because he committed suicide. People are weird about that. I mean, obviously,
when you have a terminal disease, doesn't that give you a pass?
Yeah, probably. But I think a lot of people are just like, why did he do that?
Once again, it's HBO, so you probably haven't seen it. But the Robin Williams documentary they just put out was very good.
Yeah, I need to watch that too. I did hear about that one, and I haven't.
I just wish Bobcat Goldthwait had participated, but like he said, it was too emotional for him to do it. Still, but
yeah.
That dude has such good stories.
Yeah,
I think there's 3, and then other write in that people can.
I put other. We'll see. I did it from my main account, but also retweeted from the Slop Culture account.
Oh, you were on the ball, man. I forget that you're a multitasker for a living. Like,
yeah, that's like a thing.
You know what's funny though, because I know you. When I listen to your show on the radio, I know
when I'm looking at something.
Looking up something. Like I know it because I know the way your cadence changes to kind of a trailing. And I know when it happens because you and I've been doing it for so long, and I know when you're doing stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know if anyone else knows though.
I don't think it's like it's not necessarily a bad thing.
It's not super obvious, dude. It's not super obvious, but I just know when it happens because I've had to fill for you before.
Oh,
and
I 100% know when I'm like stretching things out. Like, okay, so we're talking about this thing. Clack, 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 clack. I'm looking. There were 8,312 people at that game. You know, that kind of thing. Like, boom! I found the fact and I jump it in. Sometimes I have to talk around something because I don't have it off the top of my head. So it's like not referencing a name because it's just not there, and then looking it up really quickly and going John Thomas. You know, like I suddenly I didn't just suddenly remember, it was always there, but I just finally mentioned it instead of, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, what else were we talking about? Where do we go?
Or Mount Rushmore, but
Mount Rushmore.
I was trying to see myself. See, I'm terrible at this, unlike you, where I was actually trying to look and see if there were any results on it yet.
I got a guy who says Michael Bradley. Okay,
Michael Bradley.
We have 28 votes in the first couple minutes here. You ready? So just
28 votes. Oh, okay. What's the science behind this?
Very small sample size. Keep that in mind. Tom Hanks leading the way at 39%, Robin Williams at 32%, Vince Scully at 21%, and then I have 8% for other, and the only responses I've had so far are Michael Bradley and Rodney Marsh, and Rodney Marsh is not universally beloved.
Rodney Marsh? That is a way deep cut for anyone to get on our show.
That's world colliding, right? That's my job and my day job and this thing that we're doing here, talking about culture and stuff like that. Yeah. It's a thing.
Man, that's interesting. I never even thought about who would be at that attainment level, but man, I think we kind of nailed it also with those 3 options so far.
Yeah, well, I
think we did a pretty good job.
I think those are good. I think those are good. Robin Williams is a very, very good shout. I don't think
Michael Jordan could be, maybe. I don't know.
No, there are lots of people who don't like Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan is a dick.
Yeah, but I think that's also what kind of makes him cool.
It might make him cool, but that doesn't mean everybody loves him. Like, I think that's and plus it's sports, and when you get into sports, I mean, obviously Vince Scully's sports, but he's not a player. When you get into sports, people on the other side of a rivalry will always hate him. So, and then that kind of spreads, and then you just, you could say, well, why isn't Tom Brady beloved? Well, because sports, you know what I'm saying? Like, what would be the reason to hate on Tom Brady except for he's good at what he does and other teams lose because of him? That kind of thing.
Hey, did I tell you about my super geeky thing I did last week?
No, but you do lots of geeky things.
So, yeah, that's true. I could just give a list of the things I do every day. I went to a bar to participate in that thing, Geeks Who Drink. Have you heard of this?
No, have not.
So it's across the nation pop culture trivia thing that happens on bars every week.
Okay, sounds right up your alley.
Local baller that's participating, and everyone's doing the same questions that night across the country, basically.
Right.
And it's my place. I went. It was free. I buy a beer and stuff like that. But you can win like a prize, and you go. And I went with Johnny Puddins and my other buddy, and we the 3 of us went, and there was 4 teams playing that night at that bar. We took 4th, We're only 7 points out of first. It was very tight.
You were fourth out of four teams in that bar?
Yeah.
Well, you must have been pissed because I know you.
There was one category that it's 8 rounds, and one of them had a lot of modern music, and that was just a hole for all of us. So that's the one thing that killed us. We did a bunch of rounds perfect. But also we were a 3-man team and we didn't know you could go up to 6. The other teams were all 4 and 5 people.
I see.
So I think we probably could have bridged a few more gaps if we had known, but it was fun. I gotta say, if you're kind of like that kind of stuff or people like that, go to that site and check it out. I mean, they didn't sponsor us or anything like that,
okay.
but,
okay.
Yeah, check it out. It was fun.
They should sponsor us because you just mentioned their name on the podcast that 85 people listen to. I mean we should be getting cash. Yeah, we could Patreon our way to $12, dude. Like, I don't even know why we're not taking it. I always
wonder, like, how much. Like, you and I both know people that done Patreon, and you've done it actually in the past.
I did it briefly, but I didn't go full on with it, and I kind of regret doing
you and I
it.
both know at least one person in particular that I think is doing kind of making his living with it, and I just never know like what that equates to. Like, what do people really make off that stuff?
Yeah, I
always wonder if it's enough to truly supplement an income.
Well, you obviously got to be popular, and then people have to actually be willing to pay for what you're doing, and you have to have the bonus content. It's a full. I mean, I imagine if I really tried to do something, I could generate something, but I don't know. And I mean, is the juice worth the squeeze? That's up to the individual people. And there are really popular podcasts that just do it as an extra, a little extra on the side to help them or help with their costs or whatever. I get that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I do wish you had a better model for that stuff, for podcasts and all that, like a better revenue model, but it is what it is.
If we had started our show now, would we be more or less successful than we were then?
Man, that's a really, really good question. And by show, you mean the best soccer show, right?
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. There's certain things that we broke ground on that, like doing a bunch of different things all at once on one show.
Yeah.
Live
calls,
video,
yeah.
multiple a week,
videos,
pre-game, post-game, halftime stuff for game. We did a lot of stuff that no one else was doing at that point, but we were almost too early for a lot of the revenue streams.
Yeah,
that would come from it.
That's true. I do think that I don't think there's anything that's come along to replace the live call-in stuff. I mean, I'm doing that on SiriusXM. We're behind a paywall. I love doing it, but it's not the same. And I was just telling somebody, I don't even know who I was telling the story to. I was telling somebody about the Best Soccer Show. Oh, I got interviewed by a reporter in Atlanta. How did you get started, and how did you end up here?
And he says all due to this guy in California.
Yeah, and I was like, Jared Dubois is my hero, my soulmate, and I want to be buried next to that guy.
And he's easy on the eyes as well.
Absolutely, he looks like Dave Coulier is what I told that dude.
Wait, you bastard!
But I told him the one thing we were doing that nobody else was doing was filling that sports talk radio void of actually taking calls and giving people fans a place to talk about the game they just witnessed. Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah, which is not the model.
It's like what Reddit is kind of for that same kind of stuff, like that immediate reaction for a community.
I don't think anybody's really trying that still. I really don't. So I think if we pop that up,
I see the MLS site try it, but
yeah, they do. I guess
think a lot of people feel it disingenuous when the content is coming from the league.
Do they take calls or do they just do social?
I don't recall. I know they do social at least. I don't recall if they do calls as well or not.
Man, those were the days. Remember back when we used to take phone calls about the U.S. men's national team? Michael freaking
was having regular callers.
Hold on a second.
That was the most fun, and you still get that.
Let me do this.
You get to scratch that itch still because you probably still have that Puerto Rican dude in New York probably calls you.
That dude's Costa Rican, and I'm sure he'd be very mad to hear you say that he was Puerto Rican.
My bad.
They actually play soccer in Costa Rica. They don't play soccer in Puerto Rico, let me tell you, dude. And I have regular callers. I think a lot of the ones that were around back then aren't around anymore. I don't hear from them as much, but there are a couple. Actually had a guy just today say, "Hey, when are you going to make it out to the DC United's new stadium? I love the Best Soccer Show, and I want to take a picture." No, I haven't had a chance to go. The summer vacation schedule, kid, stuff like that. But I'm going to go on Sunday. I'm going to take...
where did you go? I saw pictures with your mom. Where was that?
Oh, you want to hear this story? Okay. How deep are we into this thing? Okay, we're almost an hour. What was the timing of this? Oh, the World Cup period, right? So I doing like crazy work during the World Cup. Schedule's all weird, blah, 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 making videos, doing radio shows, all that stuff. And Kayla was like, hey, why don't we? Have I ever name checked her on the show? She was like, wait, why don't we?
Yeah, we referred to her as a Puerto Rican for a long time, and then one time you let it slip.
I did. Okay. The Puerto Rican, she said, hey, why don't we drive from where we live in Northern Virginia to your mom's house and then drive from your mom's house to your dad's house for like a week of visiting the grandparents, right?
Is your dad in Colorado?
No, my dad is in Pensacola, Florida. So,
oh, your brother's in Colorado.
No, my brother is back in Virginia, but he was in Phoenix.
What the heck? Who's in Colorado? How do you become a Broncos fan?
My parents are both from there. My grandparents were both there,
okay.
but no one's there anymore. I mean, I have family there still, but not.
So you drove
not
the
immediate.
whole Eastern Seaboard, basically.
No, we drove from DC to Pensacola. It's not even really
I
Eastern
don't know where
Seaboard.
things are over there.
Yeah, I know. You don't have any sense of the geography.
Remember when you fought me on I was determined that was it St. Louis wasn't in the South or something?
Yeah, I think you died. I don't remember that.
I died on that sword.
There was some, I don't even remember what that was. Geography is fun. But yeah, so she was like, well, we'll drive your mom's, we'll drive your dad's, we'll take Ethan, take my kid, and he'll spend time with the grandparents. And yeah, it was good. It was, it's Greenville, South Carolina, which is this little kind of quaint town. The actual.
I have a desire to go through like North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and just like see the country of area of that. I have a real after going to New Orleans, which I know is obviously different, but I want to just go eat Southern cooking and go through like old little towns in that area.
Greenville is very cool. It's not a real big town, but they've done this really cool thing with their downtown. It feels gentrified in some, in a lot of ways, because it's kind of new construction, and they made like this river walk, but it's really cool.
White people.
It's a lot of white people, but it's still pretty cool. They have like a downtown that's like shops and stuff, and it was fun. And then my dad's in Pensacola. He's got a house on the water with a boat dock and a boat, and it was fun. It was
Air Force
cool.
Man's got a boat
and a pool. Yeah. Well, got to get out on the water sometime, man, and take advantage of that Florida sunshine. I don't know, something like that.
So how was that car drive with the kid?
He was good. I gave him movies to watch, and he had headphones, so he was good most of the time. When he wasn't doing that, we talked, but he was mostly quiet. Like, he was mostly good. And Kayla and I switched. The best thing
about buying a new car, dude, was getting stuff that has power in the back seat.
Yeah, I didn't have any. I don't have any of that. And in fact, the only times he wasn't sort of occupied is when the laptop died, because I didn't have any way to charge it. So he had to deal with that.
Let me suggest a game to you. Now, this works in my area because it might be kind of ghetto around me. A fun game that we play as a family all the time is Shopping Basket.
Okay, what's that?
Anytime you see a shopping basket on the street, not in a parking lot, but on a street, you say shopping basket. It's kind of like slug bug, kind of, so you get a point. And now we've started instituting additional things. If you can find a shopping basket laying on its side, it's worth 2 points.
Okay.
If you find a whole bunch of shopping baskets in one spot, you can say multi-basket, and you can get up to 3 points as long as there's 3 or more there, or 2 if there's only 2.
Wow, but you are such a dad.
This is the most fun game, and it gets extremely competitive in my family.
Such a dad. Man, I love it. You're getting. That's such a dad thing. It's like when my dad.
I'll tell you right now, I'm the king of it too.
We used to have a station wagon. The wood paneling station wagon. That was what we took on road trips when I was a kid.
Family fun truckster.
Yeah. It was one of the ones that had the back seat that faced backwards. So you would have the front 2 seats, mom and dad, and then the middle row would be where we would sit when we were like in surface streets, and then when we got to the highway on road trips, my dad would say, "All right, you can go in the back," and the back had the seat flipped up. But
did you call it? We had a name for it. What'd you call it?
I don't know if we had a name. I don't remember if there was a name.
We called it the backpack.
I think we did call it the backpack. Are you serious? I'm pretty sure we called it the backpack. Holy crap! Okay, this is why
we had a Bronco.
This is
like
why
one
we're
of those big old '80s Broncos. And when we was special, like when we were leaving Disneyland or something like that, and everyone was tired, we could lay down in the backpack.
Yeah, I think we did call it the backpack. Yeah, we would have put blankets down and just like chill there. And then, we weren't very big at that time, so we could all fit. It was great. But anyway, my dad would do this thing, and I can totally see you doing this. He would do this thing where the station wagon had like you could turn the dome light on with a switch. like down by the left-hand side beneath the steering wheel.
Yeah.
And he would go, I'm magic, and he would tap the dome light and turn the switch so that he was making it look like he was turning it on with his finger. I could see Jared Dubois pulling
I
that
would
off.
so do that. By the way, one of my favorite things is I can like doing the quarter trick where I can make it and have to guess which hand it's in. It's the only sleight of hand I can do. I get a lot of mileage out of that one.
Every time I do a dad joke, and I tell myself I'm being ironic with my dad jokes, I realize I'm just my dad. It's just what he does. He's in the same
I
thing.
am a mixture of my dad and Clark Griswold.
Yeah.
It's getting crazy how much I'm starting to resemble that man.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Be careful though, because he's
Including the outbursts of cussing, like on the way to do something fun.
Gotta be careful. My kid is super sensitive. If you say
My
hell,
kids, like, they do not like it.
Oh.
Actually, the only time they ever hear me cuss is when I play video games.
and then daddy, stop, daddy. That's not nice,
Well, I'm
daddy.
still daddy to the 5-year-old. The 8-year-old, I'm now dad.
Really?
Every once in a while, I'll get a daddy still.
I have not made that transition has not taken yet. When should I?
cherish
Wow.
it, dude.
Okay. I don't know. I think it's a bit okay. I think I'm ready for it. I think I'm to the point where if you said dad, I'd be like, oh, okay. I guess that's where
I'm
we're
really
at now.
starting to dread, though. I'm wondering, like what age will be the last time, like, I carry my kid?
Oh,
You know,
that's whoa. I'm so far in the past with that. I can't even tell you. The best I can do now.
like give him like a piggyback to bed or something like that.
I can't even do that. The only
Or
thing
like
I
a
got
Superman,
left.
like kind of fly.
No, the only thing I got left is half throwing him in a pool. That's all I've got left. Like in the pool, both of us in the pool.
Yeah,
I'm not,
we weighed my kid for like first day of school, and he was 77 pounds. I was like, holy. Crap.
yeah, my kid's over a bill now at this point. Like it's done.
But do you ever think about that? Like, when was the last time your dad like
picked me
lifted
up?
you?
Dude, I'm way too old to remember that. Like I'm way
Oh, me
too
too.
old.
But it's just sometimes I wonder, like, you just there's those kind of things you don't appreciate in the moment because you don't realize it was the last.
Oh yeah,
time.
absolutely. Man, I would not really have to think if I have memories of like being carried. I probably do. I probably definitely do. Yeah, yeah. Man, all right.
I'll end this one on a misty note.
Oh yeah, let's end it on a misty note. How about we end it with our poll results? We'll finish out here. We have reached 200 votes, which is a pretty good sample size.
Pretty good. Like just in like 20 minutes right now.
Yeah, so let's just to recap. Impromptu poll. I said, who's more beloved? That's the way I phrased it. It matters for scientific reasons. Who's more beloved?
Short like that.
Vin Scully, Tom Hanks, Robin Williams, and I said other. Reply with your responses. Right now, we have 26% for Vin Scully.
Wow, is that the top?
We have 31% for Robin Williams. And we have now 40%, just clicked over to 40% for Tom Hanks. So a pretty solid win for him.
You know what? Yeah, they said like the sports thing might actually be a limiter for Vince Scully. The sports and the age thing.
Yeah.
Whereas Tom Hanks is like right down the middle.
Yeah, I've got somebody who said, who is Vin Scully? Which I can't, that's crazy.
You blocked him, right?
No, he's a good listener. He's one of the regular callers, as a matter of fact.
God dang it!
let's see.
Dumb listener. No.
The others we've gotten Michael Bradley, which we don't agree is completely wrong. That guy's trolling. Barack Obama, which is not. No, come on, please, beloved,
president.
please.
That's my president.
I mean, yeah, for certain people, but not everybody. Somebody threw my name in there because they're, I don't know, pandering. Tom Hanks,
my God.
okay. Vince Scully, Groot. I have Groot. Somebody said Groot. Which, if Groot was a real
fictional
person,
character.
yeah, if Groot was a real person, maybe Groot would win this poll. All right, man. I feel like this is like 10 minutes. I feel like we didn't talk about anything really.
That's every show.
I know, it's so weird. I feel like we should. All right, let's not wait too much longer to do this one again.
Listen, this October, November, whenever it's going to be, Galaxy's going to host MLS Cup. Come on out.
Okay. All right. You want to put that? You want to?
There it is, lapped on together.
Do you want to put a bet down on that or no?
Yeah, I'm going to take a 22 team to 1 odd on this.
Well, yeah, and
How
also
many teams are there now? 25.
there are 23 teams.
I'm so unplugged.
You're
Dude.
so out. Oh, you're so
Like
out.
someone tweeted us earlier, like as a show idea, like what's TFC's chances of making the playoffs? I'm like, I don't know what their record is. Like,
They're in trouble. They're
I
in
ended
trouble.
up looking it up. I was like, holy crap, how did they go from this to that?
Yeah,
That's
there's
MLS
issues.
though.
Yeah, that's MLS. Go listen to our other podcast that we don't do anymore for updates on Major League Soccer.
And check out the United States of Soccer on XM.
Sirius XM radio. Thank you. Channel 157 for all you fans.
Oh, and by the way,
out there.
here, one last thing, because I was going to mention this. So my wife, she works for she works for the Wine of the Month Club. So plug for them.
Oh, okay.
Go buy wine for my wife.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
So they do tastings like every month, like at work.
That was hence the Wine of the Month Club?
Yeah. Yeah, so when they have their new wines come out, all the employees, they have a tasting thing where they all taste, right? And also, because all the people need to kind of know how to sell.
Right, like when you go work at a good restaurant, they have you taste all the food so that you know what it is so you can talk about it.
Exactly. So today, she brought home a bunch of the bottles that were left over. Like, they're all open, right? And I've already told her when I get out of the show right now, they're going to be brown bagged. So I'm going to do a contest to see if I can blind identify the wines that she brought home.
Put that on video. I want to see the video.
Dude. I thought about it.
Dude, it's content, man. It's gold. Come on, content in the world of, I don't know. I'm kind of,
I do watch, like, there's a great guy, Gary Vaynerchuk, who's now like this media guy or something like that, but he got a start he owned a wine operation, his family's wine operation, and he was one of the original big YouTube creators when it first launched. And he did this over and over and over again, blind tasting. And like, I've watched a million of these things of his, and to help try to train my palate on what to look for and stuff like that.
This is super nerdy.
Do it tonight.
That's our other podcast, Jay Rodius on Wine, which we could do. We could totally do that. I would have no input except to set you up to talk about dirt wine or whatever it is you like.
You just make fun of me the whole time.
No, I talk about whiskey instead. It'd be like Wine and Whiskey with Jason Davis and Tara Dubois, like a spinoff.
JD and the Rod get drunk.
JD and the Rod drinking it up. All right, we're gonna go. That's it. All right, thanks everybody for listening. Hey, again, we hope you like this. I know we're just kind of shooting the shit or whatever. Ratings and reviews and all of that. Go to Apple Podcast is what it's called now, and do that. I'm gonna try to put some more of this stuff on my social channels like Instagram, because you can do a bunch of audio stuff on Instagram now and video. So. Follow me, Davis
like
JSN.
Like a best of clip of the week?
Yeah, pretty much. Like stuff like that. I'm putting up interviews and stuff I'm doing because I don't have anywhere else to put it, homes for it. So, go and spread the word and tell people.
Interviews like the ones with Don Garber on the field at Atlanta, you dick.
How about if we... How about if we get
You're living my best life right now. You know that, right?
I'm not trying to show you. I'm not trying to make you feel bad about it.
I wouldn't get on a plane to go to Atlanta. I'm scared shitless of flying.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. I would fly to LA, get on the plane with you, hold your hand to Atlanta, and then we could make it, and then we could do that.
Did I ever show you the video of that dude that flew next to me that one time?
No.
Where it looks like he's jerking off under the table?
No. Did that happen?
Under the tray? I'm going to send it to you. This guy was sitting next to me on the plane, and his arm, the tray is down. He's got his head down almost to the tray, and his arms furiously moving under the tray.
That does not sound cool, man.
I'm going to send you a link to it, okay?
Dog, that's inappropriate.
Okay.
You got to tell me if I'm accurate on this, and you may need to cut this out because I said some really nasty stuff right there, but I'm sending this to you.
Okay, well, that's a little bit...
You can share this on your media applications as well if you'd like.
No. Although you might go viral with something like that,
I think I did put it on Instagram, though, back in the day. If I did, I'll put a link to it on the show.
People are putting the videos of you and Holden hooking up on planes or whatever. Do you know about that?
What?
Oh, God, you missed that.
I thought me and Holden, what you were saying.
No.
I was hooking up with Stu Holden.
No, like a month ago or a month and a half ago or something.
He's pretty good looking too, right?
Of course he is. He's a Holden. There was
for my money, Stu Holden and Dunny are the two best color guys in the country working right now.
Okay, well, I think that's pretty good. I actually think Tony Merrill is pretty good, but let's not go into that right now.
Okay.
So this girl's on an airplane. She trades seats with a woman so she can sit next to her boyfriend. The lady who sits down in her old seat is next to this guy. She said, "Oh, he was very studly or whatever she called him in the tweets." And she was taking videos and pictures and stuff. And she did this running commentary about how they were talking and they were touching each other. And oh, look, it's a love match and blah blah. And they got up and they both went to the bathroom and blah 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 blah. Right?
They met and boned on the same flight?
No. First of all, be careful. You're slandering people right now, I think.
You said it, not me.
No, I didn't say that. And I haven't told you the full story. The full story is that it was like 2 minutes. They were gone for 2 minutes. Okay, it was just that the woman.
That's all I need.
She kind of She kind of implied some stuff, right? And then Ewan Holden got outed as he was the guy, and then the woman gets outed, and Ewan Holden's on national television, like on Good Morning America, talking about this, but the woman's getting abused online because it's friggin' online and people are terrible.
Wait. Why is any of this bad?
It's not.
It was totally consensual, right?
Yeah, but the problem is that people judge.
Badass.
No, but Jared, you're a normal person. Think about all the assholes in the world who just want to judge other people.
Harmed in this scenario.
The woman was eventually, because it was way too public of something that would happen personally. I get it.
But she tweeted it, right? She was the one putting it out there.
No. A third party did that.
Oh, a third party did it. Okay.
A third party. The woman who asked the girl who asked the woman to change seats with her is the one who did all this.
Got it. Okay, I apologize.
From behind,
that.
like
I didn't get that it was a third party doing all
right.
of it. Now
She
I
was
feel
in a row
differently
behind.
about it.
Okay, all right. So you understand what I'm talking about. Yeah.
But still, an under the table hand high five to like you and Holden on this.
No. Okay.
That's some next level player shit right there.
I don't know that nobody knows if anything happened.
Allegedly.
Yeah, go look up hashtag.
Allegedly, I'm high fiving that dude on the
Hashtag Plain Bay, BAE. Hashtag Plain Bay. You'll find it. It's out there.
Oh my god, he's got a Bay name?
He got Plain Bay. He was Plain Bay.
Man, dang, dude.
You're covered in a Bay name.
Bay of some kind. I get some kind of nasty Bay, like I get like backseat Bay.
Michael Bay. Oh.
It was just me and a bunch of ugly people. They call it Bay of Pigs.
Master Bay. What? No. Okay. Bay of
I'll send you
Pigs.
that video in a second.
All right, we got to wrap this up. I got stuff to do, man. It's late out here. All right, love you, buddy. Talk to you soon.